Hello and welcome back to Factorio and the Space Age. Today we are fixing a couple of things. First of all, I've decided to use this casino blueprint by Stupid Fat Hobbit. Check him out on Twitch TV/SFHobbit. Has some really nice stuff going on. I really like his designs. But I've realized after looking at the way this is set up, I'm not very particularly interested in setting something like this up myself. I don't enjoy the quality mechanic that much. I'll be honest. So I'll be using those to do the quality grind. These setups here are not really working that well. I have to manually do things to these all the time. So there is a design overhaul that's very needed. Otherwise, it's gonna keep sucking, really. And yeah, I'm not particularly interested in trying to design that myself. So I'll be stealing those blueprints for sure. Anyway, so we need to fix a couple of things here. In theory, the current lab setup that we have should be able to consume about 70k science. We are kind of wavy here at 50k. It's going slightly up, slightly down. All the bots are busy in this area most of the time. So I'll be adding another 2,500 bots to this. I'm sure we'll start running into charging problems and all sorts of other shit. But I've realized we have 50 still. I have realized that I should have built this with these things in the middle coming in from two different spots. Most of the charging stuff is going to be concentrated around the chests, which is going to be a problem. I don't think this is going to be enough, but we'll see. Anywho, so we need to head over here to Fulgora. This is our biggest problem case as of right now. So we're gonna do a friendly deconstruct here. Something like this. And we're gonna try out... there should be a electromagnetic thing here. I don't know exactly how these blueprints work. We are going to do this. And we are going to say 100, I think. So I don't really want to do this, right? I don't want to do this step. Because I don't really want... We're also gonna trash unrequested, I think. Or are we? I wonder if this setup breaks if we trash unrequested. What's the... it's 1422. Oh, it should be fine to trash unrequested here. I hope. Because it still should have this. And it's gonna take a lot of time, right? Wait, so you don't have a selector combinator here. We are gonna have to fix that. A selector combinator, there we go. And we're gonna upgrade this to a legendary thing here. And this should also be legendary. Probably. What happens with this, though, when there's a thing here? Maybe it can't output to this tile when there's something there. Or not. Let me do that instead. Okay, unfortunately, I think Fulgora needs a lot of redesign here. So what are you missing to make this right? Oh, you have all of those now. I will have so many selector combinators, yeah? Oh, and right, you need a Z fluid. Which you'll get from there. These will also go away. It looks like it can't output to this, probably. Okay, so this is gonna upcycle our things, right? It's also not gonna make any out of this. So the only time we'll get anything like this out oh, that's actually fairly frequent. Interesting. And we need to get more of these, yeah. Disabled by controller behavior. Why? Why is that? Oh, do we have Supercapacitor. We do have them. Okay. How many of those are we sending to other planets, though? Are we doing that with this ship? We are. Okay, you know what? We should be getting... Oh, let's say... 5k of these instead. That should start working. And then, if we're gonna have to do something like this, where we connect this whenever this is more than 5k. Then we can scrap. I'm gonna get 5 of these max. Oh, and this, you don't need any quality stuff. We'll just put some modules in here for memes, really. So if we want to make this work just slightly faster, I know this is completely unnecessary, but I think we should probably do that anywho. Because we do have the inserters to do it. There's no reason not to. Okay. So whenever we get legendary holmium here, or legendary anything else, we'll just send it somewhere else. So if we look at... We were maybe... Let's say average is around here, so average would be around 3 to 4 per minute. This setup is already probably outperforming this, but we have a ton of these other resources here, yeah? So I don't know if that's gonna be the deal going forward or not. I mean, it's going fairly quick here. Or probably barely mining, right? Oh, you're sending shit to everywhere else, but I don't know how much this setup is gonna use. It's not a lot. I think we do this. And then I think I'm gonna leave this to run for a bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 legendary plants now. Making this. And this will never ever stop. If this gets unbalanced like the green ones, we have... no, we don't have that problem on green. Actually don't have this problem anymore. But if it gets unbalanced, it's just gonna like rebalance and keep going. Which is really what I wanted from this. I'm gonna do this. We'll have 8 of these running, and then we can see how much that's gonna yield. Okay, so we are also going to do this with a capture bot rocket legendary, for example. So we'll go in here, we'll do a little bit of a Cassini boy. Capture bot. Boom. I don't think we need more than anything. Can I do a anything upgrade? No, I can't. This from normal and this from normal to legendary to legendary. And we should have inserter as well. From normal to legendary. Boom. And here we actually want to craft these, right? I still think we might want to do these to legendary as well. Boom. We'll do something like this. Because if this becomes spoilage, we want to send this the fuck away, right? There's no way. Okay, so I'm just gonna send this. Boom. There we go. That's all fine. And we're gonna want to do the same with the belts. I want to do the same with the belts. No. This. We do have... I'm gonna say 100 of these. Then we'll upgrade this. The reason we're doing... Yeah, we don't want to do this. Right? We don't want to do this. We want to take care of the legendary stuff that we do get. We'll put that there instead. That's great. And then we'll get what we did here on Forgora. Boom. And we'll take that and we'll put that to the side here. put that here. So this will request these on legendary. 5 at a time, probably. And this whenever belts reach, let's say 90. So if we have more than 90 belts, we are gonna send these to get the legendary materials. And that should probably be fine. So then we can send that. This. And that. Oh, and this one as well. So the last hour, we've been averaging 11 legendary carbon per minute. We probably want to do a couple of these each, yeah. We'll put this out there. Maybe we'll even do 5 of each. That's not super unreasonable. That's pretty reasonable, I think. So how are we doing with science? Science is being wavy still. Most bots are out. I don't know if this is helping me putting more bots in. Seems to have helped a bit. Yeah, we went from 50k to about 64k, but we're not there yet. How many do we have? Okay, we do have basically 2.5k. I'd like to hit this stable, because then we can see how things are working. We're not at 100k SPM here yet, but we are getting closer, and we'll start finding some bottlenecks soon, I'm sure. Okay, let's see. This was 3, 4 per minute, maybe. This is actually 30 per minute. This is a pretty efficient setup. Not gonna lie. This works very well in comparison. I wonder if we're gonna have the same experience with... where the hell did I put this? Here. We're gonna have the same experience with this. We might have to put that in this kind of thing, though. Maybe same on Fulgora. These attacks are getting pretty spicy. It's increasing quite a bit. This graph speaks for itself. We are doing about 83 kills per minute on big spitters. And recently, like this minute, we've been doing 285 and we're up to 123 over the last 10 minutes. The last hour, average has been 127. This is increasing very steadily. Okay, we are almost at 5k bots here, yeah? At some point, I think we're gonna run into... They are just not gonna charge anywhere. They're gonna get stuck all here. And I think we're gonna have to move things away from here. And move this down. Everything is here. Okay, we are going in here again to put these in. And we're doing 0. And power is rough. I can plateau here. That would be great. Oh, okay. You haven't really been doing any of those for a while. You are struggling because of bioflux. You know what? We can probably do 20-20-10. So if we do 40, 40, and then this is gonna be 20, right? Yeah, because it's gonna be half. And then the bioflux should be 10 times more than this, so we should probably put 400 here. We're struggling really hard because of bioflux. But we have a long time to do these, which is nice. Hopefully this is gonna lead to slightly higher crafting time on these. The bots are struggling again. There's so many things to charge here. Okay. No, we can't do this either. Well, we can. We are perfectly able to. do this. And we'll do that. Okay, I can't see shit here. Okay, I CBA with this. Let's do some copy pasting instead. There we go. That should be pretty fine. I think I called. Whatever. We have to be careful here. That should be fine. Perfect. Hopefully this is gonna alleviate the problem slightly. Yeah. That's 15k again. Oh, wait. Hopefully this is gonna alleviate the problem slightly. So how are we doing over here? Okay, it looks like you are feeling a bit better here. The last 10 hours, even 50 hours, we've been averaging around 1.7 per minute. This is not exactly the same. I think you might be running into the same issue here. We do 90 and 300 instead, just to make sure that you have the raw materials that you want. Should be a little bit better. We take a look on Fulgora. We seem to have settled a bit more on 6. It's still kind of good. It's still kind of good. How much legendary holmium do we have? Not much. Not much. Let's use this a bit more. Should be fine. We're now at 1,000 mining productivity, which is insane. Okay, so not all the bots are being used right now. We have reached some form of stable thing, but we are really using the power now. Our power consumption has gone up so much. How are we doing here? Oh, I forget where we make these. We're making them here. We need legendary superconductors, really. Do we have them on Fulgora? That's the question. Not that many. They come from this process as well. Alright, we now decided that we need 5k of this. It's gonna take some time, right? That's gonna take some time. Although I have to say this process is quite good. I don't know if this entity update completely counts the bots or not. I don't know how efficient the bots are really. We are starting to struggle a bit here. Anyway, speaking of struggling, we need to start planning for yellow science. I think like this probably gonna be pretty stable. And until I have enough labs to expand, which I don't, we are really lacking the capture bots specifically. I'm hoping this is going to alleviate that problem. Hopefully. And what was I going to say? We need to start planning for yellow science. So yellow science needs a couple of things that are pretty yikes. The flying robot frames that we need about 16,000 per minute. We need 8,000 engine units. 25k circuits, this is mega easy. 16k batteries, that's also easy. 8,000 steel, that's also easy. Blue circuits, this is a lot. You're gonna need 16k red circuits per minute for this build alone. This is more than enough. One of these builds. The problem that we run into is this here is 19k, and this consumes already, I think, 8 belts of green circuits. And here we'd need 166, which is, let's say 170, which is 2k. That's 12 belts of green circuits. And which in turn is like, okay, we're gonna need 100k iron per minute. And we're gonna need a ridiculous amount of copper as well. Not as much as you think, but it's gonna be there, right? So I was thinking, we have one source of blue circuits that's very underused right now. And that's the Fulgora one. We are basically voiding these today. No, it's not. It's called processing unit. We can pretty much at a stable rate make almost 5k of these. And this is something that we do today already. This is something that we do today already. Which is great. And then I'm thinking, okay, we have LDS here as well. We're making 2.3k per minute as of right now. Which is not enough at all. Do I make yellow science on novice or do I make it here? I kind of feel like I should be making it on novice with blue circuits coming in from Fulgora. So we can supplement this here with extra blue circuit production on novice when we need to. I feel like that's probably the way to go here. So, first of all, need to clean up a little bit here, yeah? And some mountains as well. Cliffs. Whatever, dude. So what I'm probably gonna end up doing is we have iron here, we have copper here. And we have more coal, so we can easily make plastic from this oil that we're already tapping here. I think we're gonna build an LDS thing here somewhere and belt it down to yellow science. That's gonna be here. Then we're supplementing blue circuits. That's gonna be belted from this area, kind of. Because I don't want the bots to travel a lot. We'll just go here somewhere. Yeah. And then send belts over here. When it comes to the flying robot frames, this is not super complicated or needs that many resources. Let's see, our pollution is playing pretty nice at the moment. Get rid of this. Don't really need to be finding more biters down here at the moment. And we'll take this and we'll be going over here. And I realized, like, if I was doing this differently, I would probably make yellow science on Volcanus. Maybe even military science on Volcanus. Just to make some of these things, like, easier. Because you wouldn't need these big belt builds for it. But I wanted to rely on producing the sciences on the correct planet for this playthrough, and I wanted to make a belt base, primarily. Oh, this here is a problem now. Oh, we can't have this here. We'll have to move this. Yeah, because they're starting to do things that they are not supposed to be doing, and that made a nice, very, very nice loop right in here. And I don't want that. We ain't having that. We want this to go out from this area, not the other way around. We already have 50k in here that we don't want. We can use those bots for better things. Okay. Right. This needs some electricity here. Here. And here, I think. Cool. So we are at 916k SPM right now. We should be very stably doing 70k-ish. So we can get a little bit more. We can get a little bit more. Let's say we're doing 69k. We are at 13.5 times science output right now. I wish I could calculate that in an easy way. Cool. We are polluting so much. I also think that we are getting to the point where biters very soon. Biters and pollution probably have to be turned off. I also think Fulgora will be the priority after we do novice science. I'm trying to figure this out to do more than 10k SPM. I have some ideas on how I want to do that, but we'll see what we can do. Unfortunately, I think it's gonna be a full Fulgora rebuild, probably. I think it's gonna be the same for Gleba and Aquilo for the most part. But we'll know when we get there. Fulgora I want because then we can send these, right? And this is a very good source of optimization for us. Bot speed. It's one of the bottlenecks right now. If we could get bot speed up, we could get the amount of bots we use down, which would help. Even doing 70k SPM there would still take almost 30 minutes to do one bot speed now. Was 32 million? No. So we're approaching the reasonable cap for how many of those researches we can push out. So, if we start planning a little bit on yellow science while that's doing its thing, we can safely assume I think we can safely assume if we do this, I just want to see what the max possible consumption would be here. And we're making yellow science instead. So the max consumption here isn't actually that high. We would need 500. How would we do this? If we send in... Okay, let's pretend that we have a full belt of something going through here. So that's a full belt. This is another full belt. And this is another full belt. Because we could work with this. We could even say we can do this. can have output here. And then output would then, you know, go here instead. Okay. So you can do this. That's tileable. I don't even think, yeah, we need, every other one would need power. But we can do this, right? How many of these could we do? We could do a lot before that becomes an issue. It would be more of an issue with belt constraints for output than input. But I think this is something we would probably like to replicate. So if we do this, let's see how much this is. And then we'll figure out the inputs. Maybe this is going to be an easier build than purple science, because the purple science was very, very annoying due to belt constraints, really. We are very stable here. The charging, while it's looking rough, and some of the charging has actually moved up here. Great. Okay, let's see. We do this. How much is this then? Okay, okay. This is almost a full belt. Sorry. This is pretty much a full belt. This is pretty much a full belt. And then we would need like 8 of these. Roughly. I think it's 7. Slightly more than 7. But this here is really chill. This here is really chill. We could even do... We squeeze. Can we do... We can. We could. We could. Okay, so if we do this, and also this, maybe I would want to move this further into the middle. I don't remember what we said about this. This was 26. Get rid of 11. Think of this as the middle. We'll do that. And we'll do that. Because again, this is 2 full belts. We'll see what the input looks like. And we could go 8 into 7, I think. Yeah, so we'd go 8 into 7. Same as the others. Let's see how much science this actually would make. So in theory, this is going to be almost 2 full belts, yeah? This is... If we make 4 of these, we would be good. And here we are at the point where a full belt of low density structures is the limit. Right? So if we say, for example, that low density structure will go here. We're gonna find our trusty thing here and put LDS here. We'd put LDS here. And then this would go here. And stop here. So we'd do this. And that would be how we do that. And then, I mean, this would keep going to there. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So do we do 1, 2, 3, 4? I think we can do 4. on a row. Then I'd need 4 belts of this coming in here. We can solve that. And this would then need 4 times as much of this, which would be 1 belt of robots, I think. Yeah, if we multiply this by 4. No, it would be 2 belts. 280. And then this would be 3 belts of blue circuits and 2 belts of this. Which should be fine. So I mean this here. Then we put this in. Okay, that's not good. Okay, we'll put... We'll take this, yeah. Boom. Where the hell did this belt come from? That's not what I want. Okay. Boom. Boom. Why is there a belt here? Is it leftovers from some bullshit? I don't want this belt. Let's remove this. There we go. And that is the first belt of that, so that goes in there. Now the rest will not be equally divided here. Be honest, I'll do this for now. I just want to copy paste this later. So I know that this is actually correct. Okay, so low density structures inputs are all done. And this would then be processing units. And that would just go there, really. I think... No, we'll leave that for now, okay. So this just goes here, yeah? We'll swap direction on this. Swap direction on that. And then we are looking at 2 belts of robot frames. And this is gonna be unfortunate thing. Okay, and this goes in this direction. We don't need that. This goes in there, there, there. Definitely don't need this one. So, looks slightly more clean with that. So yeah, this is 60. So then we would do we do legendary stack inserters for science output? Yes, we do. So the output would go here. Is there any better way we could be doing this? Probably not. So this is going to be consolidated into one belt. If we take this times 4, this is going to be 78. Which is not one side of the belt. So this should actually be fine, and I think we go upwards instead. Okay. So we're swapping directions on these. I think we do this as well. Okay. This should have everything solved. This should have everything solved. So we do copy paste of this. We're gonna remove these. Then we do 4 of this. So science comes out here, here, here. And then we can find a 3, 2, 2. Put it here, I think. That would be pretty good. And then I don't think we can take this out and put one here, can we? Not really. I think we do this, yeah. Doesn't matter a great deal. So, again, science coming out here. We then mirror this. And this comes from there. And then this will go here. 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 I think we have to do this here probably. Then, I mean, we take these and go further. And here we'll go like this. And then we'll go further. I think that's probably about it. This will be almost all of the science that we need. And if we do 4 of these, we'll definitely have 100k. Okay, so in theory, the yellow science is kinda done. Kinda done. This was quite a lot simpler to design than this. Just based on the sheer belt constraints of purple science, which we don't have here. Right, we need input belts for those as well. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with this, actually. And then we'll have the belts output upwards. And I'm thinking we're placing it here, probably. This area should be fairly clear at this point. So next episode, we're gonna start clearing this and building the yellow signs out. Now we've designed something that kind of works. Tileable and all good. That's gonna be it for this episode. If you enjoy my content, please consider subscribing to my channel. That would be really cool. And as always, have a really nice day.